Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. Welcome to IASbaba's Rapid Revision Series for Prelims 2021. This is session 78 and day 108. And the topic we have is Economic Survey and Budget of 2021-22. So these are the hot topics we are going to discuss. That is the first two topics. They go with the MCQs as usual. And then the third one about Economic Survey, that is the legal base of Economic Survey. Then Economy and COVID-19. Then GDP estimation. Then External Sector. Then Debt Sustainability and Growth. Then service sector and health and education, then agriculture. Friends, here we also discuss how to study the economic survey and budgets. Now, coming to the first one, the MCQs. With reference to trade related investment measures, which of the following statements is or are correct? Friends, it is a very basic question. If you have read any standard books regarding economics or any notes, you would have got this. So here, TRIMS is only related to the trade in goods and not in services. So by that, we remove 2 and 1 and 3 can be the option. So if you remove 2, then A, B and D, they will be striked out automatically. Now, come to the next one. If RBI decides to adopt an expansionist monetary policy, then which of the following would it not do? Friends, it is a conceptual question. We will memorize the concept before seeing the options. Friends, expansionist monetary policy means wherein we have to infuse more and more money into the economy. So it involves more and more reduction in the policy rates. So we will look into it. First one, the cut and optimize the statutory liquidity ratio. Yes friends, by doing this, we are adopting expansionary monetary policy. So statement 1 stands to be correct. Then second one, increase the marginal standing facility rate. Friends, if you increase the MSF rate, then the money infusing into the economy will decrease because the banks will not purchase loans under this increased MSF rate. So 2 cannot be an option. So we will search for the options by removing the statement 2, and here once again A, B and D will be striked out and C is the one which remains. So 1 and 3 only is the answer. Then come to next one. With reference to Indian economy after 1991 economic liberalization, consider the following statement. Friends, the work productivity increased in urban areas while it decreased in rural areas. Friends, it is a moderate statement. We can't do anything. So we keep it for further consideration. Then the percentage share of rural areas in the workforce steadily increased. So friends, here steadily seems to be extreme. So we strike the statement 2 and search for the options. So if we search for 2, A and D will be eliminated and only B and C will remain, and here B and C both of them contain the third statement, and we search only for the fourth statement now. That is, the growth rate in rural employment decreased. Yeah, friends, here we take up the logical reasoning as the strategy. Friends, here after liberalization, it is but obvious that the employment opportunities they increased in urban areas. So as a result of that, most of the people they migrated to urban areas, and hence the employment rate in the rural areas it decreased. So fourth statement is correct if you go as per the logic. So hence 3 and 4 can be the answer, and option B we hit it. Then come to next one. Consider the following statements. In terms of short-term credit delivery to agriculture sector, the district central cooperative banks deliver more credit in comparison to scheduled commercial banks and regional rural banks. So friends, here the statement is moderate. We keep it for further consideration. Then one of the most important functions of DCCBs is to provide funds to primary agriculture credit societies. Friends, these cooperative banks, they are set up with a basic intent for helping the poor people. So hence agriculture credits they have to give, and the statement also says that it is one of the most important. So this one of the most important is very moderate, and hence statement 2 stands to be correct, and there are no other options. And moreover, it is very difficult to prove that it is not one of the most important factor for DCCBs. So hence 2 is correct. Now coming to statement 1, friends, the scheduled commercial banks they form the largest chunk in the Indian banking system. Even in the priority sector lending, scheduled commercial banks they occupy 75%. Yes friends, it is difficult for the regional rural banks or the DCCBs or the cooperative banks to defeat the scheduled commercial banks because they have huge percolation rates and their branches are very much in number. So friends, in that context, the DCC banks they cannot deliver more credit than the scheduled commercial banks. It is very difficult for Ludhiana Corporation Bank or Coimbatore Corporation Bank to defeat the SBI. So hence statement 1 cannot be correct, and we take 2 only as the option. So B is the answer for this. And then come to next one. In India, under cyber insurance for individuals, which of the following benefits are generally covered in addition to payment for funds and other benefits? First one, the cost of restoration of the computer system in case of malware disrupting access to one's computer. So friends, if there is any malware attack, will the cyber insurance company will it pay insurance? Then cost of new computer if some miscreant willfully damages it and if proved so. So if there is a complete damage, whether the companies will provide money for the new computers. Then cost of hiring a specialized consultant to minimize the loss in case of cyber extortion. If any person is extorting money from you, whether the insurance company will pay back. Then cost of defense in the court of law if any third party files a suit. So friends, here the cyber insurance, it appeared in newspaper once or twice, but however the whole policy it never appeared, and it is very insane to by heart all those policies which are given in the policy document. So now the trick here is compare this cyber insurance with the car insurance which you are already aware of. Now consider the first one, the cost of restoration of computer in case of malware disruption. So friends, if your car is met with any damage, then will the insurance company pay? Yes, it will pay. So statement 1 can be an option. Then second one, the cost of new computer. Yes friends, if your car is completely damaged due to accident, then the new car can be bought and insurance company will pay the required amount. So hence even 2 can be correct option. Now the cost of hiring a specialized consultant to minimize the loss in case of cyber extortion. Yes friends, here consider you are having a car and you are using it for taxi, that is for commercial purposes, and now the police people, they are extorting money from you and you pay bribe for the senior officers in order to avoid daily extortion from the police. And will the insurance company pay for that bribe you give for the police? So it will not pay because that belongs to the corruption department and there is no damage to your car done there. So friends, this cyber extortion is completely different from the cyber damage. So this cyber extortion, it belongs to banking system, and if there are any technical glitches, then the bank insurance company will pay you for that. So 3 cannot be an option. Then cost of defense in the court of law if any third party files a suit. Yes friends, if your car is met with an accident, the insurance will pay you even the legal expenses. So friends, the 1, 2 and 4 can be the options, that is option A is the correct one here. So this is all about today's guesswork. Then come to next one, how to study economic survey and budget. Friends, both economic survey and budget, they consist of 3 important things, that is the new concepts, then the new schemes that are being launched, and then the statistical trends. So these are the 3 important areas where you have to search in the economic survey and budget, and it is insane to read the whole economic survey and the budget which takes months together. Now coming to new concepts. So what are the new concepts and how they are being inducted into the economic survey? Friends, economic survey 2020-21, it provided for Ricardian equivalence proposition. So friends, this Ricardian equivalence proposition can appear in the prelims exam likewise. So Ricardian equivalence proposition is associated with which of the following? So such questions can be asked. So it is our duty to search for new concepts and learn them. Then the low wage growth trap. Friends, this low wage growth trap is also a concept, and if you have read that and if you are thorough with that, then we can answer the questions which are asked on the same. So hence new concepts are must remembering and must revising in the economic survey and budget. Then come to next one, the trends and statistics. Friends, whenever the trends and statistics are given, that is how the agriculture sector is performing, then how the food processing industries are performing, what about FDI, FPI, whether they have increased or decreased compared to last year. So all those things are worth remembering, and we have to look into those areas where studying economic survey and budget. And there the question can be asked like, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, after bringing this scheme, what are being the changes? Has it led to reduction in the infant mortality rate or the maternal mortality rate, or whether it has been increased in access to family planning, or whether it has improved in vaccination? So such statistical trends can be asked. Then one more example is the regional distribution of agriculture credit, whether has it increased or whether has it increased in the northern India or southern India. So such questions will be asked. So trends and statistics are one more important areas where we have to look in the economic survey and budget. Then come to next, new schemes. Friends, several new schemes will be launched in the budget especially. So in economic survey, not more schemes will be launched. In budget, it is all about political propaganda. Hence, new schemes they come up every year. So here, the new scheme like One Health scheme and then the Mitra scheme. So all these are new ones. So questions can appear on all those things, and even the development financial institutions. So on all these questions can appear. So it is our duty to go through the new schemes and study them. And in the budget 2022, these are some of the new schemes that are being launched. That is the development financial institutions, then National Hydrogen Mission, then Multi-Purpose Seaweed Park in Tamil Nadu, then National Faceless Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, then National Monetization Pipeline, the famous one, then the National Language Translation Mission, then Metro Light or the Metro Neo Technologies, then Mitra scheme. So it is our duty to study all these things. In the next class, that is in tomorrow's class, we take up all these schemes and discuss. Now, coming to the first one, that is the legal basis of economic survey. Friends, it is an annual document released by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Yes, we know that. Then in this, the government presents the statistics on the status of economy in the past 1 year and the key challenges it anticipates in the future. So the past year's economy will be stated in the economic survey. Then the economic survey document is prepared by the economics division of Department of Economic Affairs. Friends, this Department of Economic Affairs is worth remembering here. Then under the guidelines of Chief Economic Advisor. So Chief Economic Advisor, he is the sole person responsible for the economic survey. Then the first economic survey in India was presented in the year 1950-51. So after the forming of new government, it was being presented. Then up to 1964, it was presented along with the union budget. But from 1964 onwards, it has been delinked from the budget and now it is a separate document. So one day before the budget is being rendered, economic survey will be released to the public domain. So this is the legal basis. Then come to next one, the economy and COVID-19. Friends, what does the economic survey say about the COVID-19 situation? Friends, one of the key insights was that pandemic spreads faster in higher and denser population areas. Yes friends, but obvious, in the denser population areas, the COVID spreads rapidly. Then the intensity of lockdown matters most at the beginning of the pandemic. So not throughout the pandemic, only at the beginning the lockdown matters. So these two facts we have to remember. Then India adopted a unique 4-pillar strategy, that is containment, then fiscal and financial stimulus, and then long-term structural reforms. Friends, India is the only country which adopted structural reforms in the wake of COVID-19. So this fact is also worth remembering. Then a favorable monetary policy ensured abundant liquidity. So friends, that 20 lakh package was given which maintained liquidity inside the market. Then cushioning the vulnerable in the lockdown and boosting consumption and investment while unlocking. Yes friends, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana and all others, they helped in cushioning the vulnerable sections, especially the migrants. Then the production linked incentive scheme, which was worth 1.46 lakh crore, is expected to be a game changer and it may make India an integral part of the global supply chain. So friends, this PLI scheme, it was launched as a full-fledged scheme including some 10 to 12 sectors, and this is going to be a game changer in the future to come. Then the National Infrastructure Pipeline launched to accelerate the demand push and further the recovery of the infrastructure sector. Then starting July 2020, a resilient V-shaped recovery is underway. So economic survey says that V-shaped recovery will happen, but however several experts, they debated this one. So these are some of the facts given by economic survey. So here the new schemes like the production linked incentive scheme and then the National Infrastructure Pipeline, they are worth remembering, and then concepts like V-shaped recovery has to be studied. Then come to next one, friends, overall trends. So here we have a snapshot, and GDP, it is expected to grow at 11%. This is a very high compared to even the pre-pandemic year, which was 4.2% growth in 2019-2020. Then fiscal deficit. Friends, fiscal deficit also crunched to 3.5% compared to 4.6% in the previous year. So despite pandemic, we maintained a fiscal deficit because not much import took place because of the lack of business activity. Then inflation, friends, when the CPI, it hiked to 6.6%, the WPI, it was down. So friends, here CPI was increased because people consumed a lot even without working. So this is the reason here. So friends, for all this, remember a reason and it will be helpful for you to guess the statements in the prelims exam. So reason is a must while you learn the statistics. Then come to next, current account balance. Friends, current account balance, it hit a surprising statistics wherein it was 3.1% surplus when compared to the deficits in the last 17 years. So in the last 17 years, we were running in current account deficit, and now we turn to current account surplus. So friends, why it was? Because once again the imports decreased drastically due to lack of business activity. So that was the reason for both reduction in fiscal deficit and increase in the current account surplus. Then foreign exchange reserve. Friends, we have spoken earlier also that foreign exchange reserve, it hit a new high, that is it hit $586 billion, which is a record high. So this is also worth remembering. Then agriculture sector, friends, agriculture sector, it grew by 3.4%, but when other all sectors, they experienced a crunch in the market. So here we can see industrial growth, it crunched to negativity, that is to minus 9.6%, and service sector to minus 8.8 sector, but agriculture sector, it saw a 3.4% growth, because even during the pandemic, farmers, they grew the crops and they sold it. So this agriculture sector is worth remembering in the economic survey. So taking all these trends, we go further deeper. First one, the GDP estimate. Friends, economic survey says that India's real GDP is going to record a growth of 11% in 2021-22. and the nominal GDP by 15.4%, that is the highest since independence. So this 11% and this 15.4%, which is highest since independence, is worth remembering. Then these projections are in line with the International Monetary Fund estimates. So even IMF is also predicting the same growth rate for India. Then India's GDP is estimated to contract by 7.7% in the fiscal year 2020-21. Yes, it contracted by 7.7%, and here we can see the contraction. Then coming to sector-wise analysis, agriculture has remained the silver lining. So this was the only sector which grew in spite of the overall economic crunch. Then the contact-based services, then manufacturing sector, then construction sector, they were the hardest hit and they have been recovering steadily. So even though they were hit badly, they are recovering. Then the external sector provided an effective cushion to the growth, with India recording a current account surplus of 3.4% of GDP in the first half of fiscal year 2020-21. So these are some of the GDP estimates. Then come to next one, the foreign sector. Friends, here India's forex reserves at an all-time high of $586 billion. So friends, we have discussed it in the overall economic trends. So forex reserves, it is the highest in the history of India. Then the balance of capital account is buttressed by robust FDI and FPI inflows. So even in the capital account, we have a huge inflow of FDI and FPI. Now the net FDI inflows of 27.5 billion in April-October 2020, which is 14.8% higher as compared to the first 7 months of 2019-20. So friends, this first 7 months of 2019-20, it was the hardcore months wherein the pandemic was at its peak, and now the increase in FDI inflows, it only shows that the economies all over the world, including India, are recovering. Then the net FPI inflows of 28.5 billion in April-December 2020 as against 12.3 billion corresponding to the period of last year. So friends, here even the FPI inflows are being increasing. So this is an indication that the economies are recovering. Then external debt stood at 556.2 billion at the end of September 2020, a decrease of 2 billion, that is 0.4% as compared to the end of March 2020. So friends, again this also shows that India is reducing its debt and it is recovering. So these are some of the external sector statistics, and here only the recovery part is being showed, but however the dip during the hardcore pandemic months are not being stated. So friends, this is how the statistics will be tweaked in favor of the government, and this is not a surprise, and every government, they had done the same way throughout the history of India. Then come to next one, the debt sustainability and growth. Friends, here the growth leads to debt sustainability in Indian context, but not necessarily the vice versa. So friends, in India, the growth, economic growth, it can lead to debt sustainability, but a debt cannot lead to growth sustainability. So by taking debt, we cannot ensure a sustained growth, but however, if we have a sustained growth, then everyone will give us the loan. So but obvious, not only for India, this is equally applicable for any economy for that matter. So this jargon we will remember. Friends, here economic survey, it provides a unique story, and we discuss what does it provide. Friends, the debt sustainability, it depends on the IRGD. What is IRGD? It is the interest rate growth rate differential. So friends, this is the interest rate and this is the growth rate. So friends, if interest rate increases more than the growth rate, then the debt sustainability of a country, it will be under problem. But however, if the growth rate is higher than the interest rate, then there are no problems or no issues regarding the debt sustainability. And economic survey says that as India is an emerging economy, then we will be having much growth rate, and hence the debt sustainability will not be a problem for India. So even during the pandemics, if you spend sufficiently and even if you take debt, then that will not be a problem because we can repay the debt in time. So economic survey says that it is essential to take the debt and spend profligately during the pandemics so that we can recover and we can come out of the situation as soon as possible. So this is what the economic survey provided, and it also says that the counter-cyclical fiscal policy is the need of the hour. So friends, if the economy is going in the recession, then we have to go with a counter-cyclical path. That is, we have to spend more and more. So this justifies the dovish monetary policy that is being taken up by the RBI. So despite increase in inflation, RBI is keeping the dovish monetary policy. So this is the justification given by the economic survey for that policy. So this is all about debt sustainability and growth. Then come to next one, service sector. Friends, the service sector accounts for over 54% of India's gross value addition and nearly 4/5 of total FDI inflow into India. So friends, this 54% and 4/5, these are bit surprising statistics. So these are worth remembering. Then service sector accounts for 48% of total exports, outperforming goods export in recent years. So in recent years, the service sector, it took over the goods export and now it is 48% of the total exports. So friends, 54, then this 4/5. Friends, 4/5 means something nearer to 80%. Then 48% of exports, all these are worth remembering. Then key indicators such as Service Purchasing Managers Index, then rail freight traffic, then port traffic and all others display a V-shaped recovery after a sharp decline during the lockdown. So friends, overall, all these, they show that the V-shaped recovery is in the offing. So friends, from this statement, what inference we get is that the Service Purchasing Managers Index, then rail freight traffic, then port traffic, so all these are the indicators of service sector. So if there is a question given that which of the following are the indicators of service sector, then without fail, tick all of them. Then the startups. Friends, the Indian startup ecosystem has been progressing well amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So friends, the startup industry, it is also recovering faster. Then India being home to 38 unicorns, adding a record number of 12 startups to the unicorn list last year. Friends, India has a 38 unicorn and in the last year it added 12 unicorns. Friends, what is a unicorn? It is that startup which is setting a new trend in the market. And as per the UN unicorn trends, it says that only 1.28% of the startups, they have the ability to become unicorn. And the criteria is that they should be 10 years old and they should be having a value of $1 billion worth. And then super unicorn, they should also be 10 years old, but however their value should be 100 billion worth. So these are some of the criteria, so remember them. And this was coined in the year 2013. So the word unicorn is a new concept and that is a probable area for UPSC to ask the question. Then the space sector. Friends, India's space sector has grown exponentially in the past 6 decades. Yeah, friends, with the empowerment of ISRO and with the oncoming of Antrix, the space sector has made a great profits in the last 60 years. So these are some of the facts regarding the service sector. Then come to next one, the health and education. First one, healthcare. Friends, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana contributed to improvement in many health outcomes in the states that implemented the ambitious program. Friends, those states which implemented Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, those states have seen a great improvement in the health sector during the pandemics. So economic survey gives a great credit for the Jan Arogya Yojana. Then the National Health Mission. Friends, the NHM played a critical role in mitigating inequity as the access of poorest to prenatal and postnatal care and institutional deliveries increased significantly. So friends, this significantly is a word we have to remember. So due to National Health Mission, the prenatal and postnatal care and the institutional deliveries, they increased to a large extent. Then the scheme should be given prominence under Ayushman Bharat. So this was the suggestion given by economic survey. So we have to club the National Health Mission and Ayushman Bharat. Then coming to government spending. Friends, an increase in the government spending on healthcare sector from the current 1% to 2.5 or 3% of GDP as envisaged in the National Health Policy 2017 could reduce the out-of-the-pocket expenditure to a great extent. And here, one of the infographics of PIB, it says that increase in the budget from 1% to 2.5 to 3% in the health sector would reduce the out-of-the-pocket expenditure from 65% to 35%. So nearly 50% reduction can be seen. So this is also worth remembering. Yeah, friends, economic survey speaks of National Health Mission, then Jan Arogya Yojana, and then out-of-the-pocket expenditure. So this is all about health. Then come to next, education. Friends, India has attained a literacy level of almost 96% at the elementary school level. So friends, this 96% we have attained at the school level, that is primary literacy, that is the primary education basically. Then as per the national sample survey, the literacy rate of the persons of age 7 years and above at all India level stood at 77.7%. So 7 years and above age people, they have achieved 77.7% of literacy rate. So that is also worth remembering. Then female literacy remained below the national average among the social groups of SC, ST, OBC, including religious groups of Hinduism and Islam. Friends, among almost all the social groups, starting from the majority to minority, starting from the higher income to lower income levels, the female literacy is lower than the national average. Yes friends, this statistics, it comes with the logic of patriarchy. So it is easy to remember as well, and it is worth remembering. Then the percentage of enrolled children from the government and private schools owning a smartphone increased enormously from 36.5% in 2018 to 61.8% in 2020 in rural India. So in rural India, there is an enormous increase in the students holding smartphones and who are listening to online classes. So this enormously, that is 36.5 to 61%, is worth remembering. Then PM E-Vidya was a scheme that was launched, and it is a comprehensive initiative related to digital online or on-air education. So friends, PM E-Vidya, it suggests for online classes, and then the classes in the television and classes in the radio are all encouraged within this. Then around 92 courses have started and 1.5 crore students are enrolled under the Swayam MOOCs. Friends, we know that this Swayam MOOCs, it provides for distance learning and online classes. So there is a considerable enrollment in these classes, so that is a good indication. Then Pragyata guidelines on digital education have been developed. So friends, Pragyata guidelines means the online classes, then online revision module, then online tests. So all these are provided in the form of guidelines. So what is Pragyata? It is a guidelines released by Ministry of Human Resource Development, and which states that at what time the online classes should be provided, at what point of time revision should be provided, and how the revision has to be provided, how the tests has to be conducted, how the grade system has to be given. So this overall guidelines is called Pragyata. Then the Manodarpan initiative for psychological support has been included in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So friends, in case of depression, mental illness and loneliness and others, this Manodarpan, it will give palliative care and support for those children and those people who are willing to take up education once again. So Pragyata, then Manodarpan, PM E-Vidya, all these are the new schemes, and these become most important for prelims. So this is all about education. Then come to next, the vocational courses and skill development. Friends, vocational courses will be introduced phase wise in schools for class 9 to class 12. Yeah friends, the economic survey says that the vocational courses will be inducted with the academics from class 9 to class 12 onwards. Then as a part of center's flagship skilling program, that is the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 3.0. So friends, 3.0 scheme, it aims for clubbing the academics with the vocational training from class 9 to class 12. So this fact is worth remembering. Then merely 2.4% of India's workforce in the age group of 15 to 59 years have received formal vocational or technical training. So this 2.4% is very meager, and this is also worth remembering. Then while another 8.9% obtained training through informal sources. So 8.9% is more compared to 2.4%. So those receiving informal training are more compared to those receiving formal training under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Then out of 8.9% workforce who received non-formal training, the largest chunk is contributed by on-the-job training. So friends, on-the-job training is one of the major chunks that form the informal training of workforce regarding the skill development. Then second one is the self-learning, that is learning on our own with the help of YouTubes and others. Then hereditary sources. Friends, hereditary sources means learning along with our parents, and then other sources 1%. So this on-the-job training, then self-learning, then hereditary, then other sources. These statistics, if you remember, it will be good. Then among those who received formal training, the most opted training course is the IT and ITES sectors. So friends, IT and IT enabled sectors, these are the hot schemes under which the skill development is being taken up by both males and females. Then the Unified Skill Regulator, that is the National Council for Vocational Education and Training, was operationalized recently. So friends, this NCVET, is worth remembering, and the legal backup of this is also worth revision. So this is all about vocational training. Then come to next one, agriculture. Friends, the growth of agriculture we had discussed in the overall trends of economic survey, and now dwelling deeper, the agriculture and allied sector activities clocked a growth of 3.4%. Yes, we had discussed that. Then as per the provisional estimate of national income released by the Central Statistical Organization, the share of agriculture and allied sectors in gross value addition of the country at current prices is 17.8% for the year 2019-20. So friends, basically agriculture sector, it is contributing to 17.8% of gross value addition. So this is what the statistics is. But however, here the fact about the estimates of national income and Central Statistical Organization, these two have to be revised and remembered. Then come to exports. In 2019-20, the major agriculture export destinations were USA, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Nepal and Bangladesh. So this USINB or the USIMBA, you can remember that. Then the top agriculture and related products exported from India were marine products, then basmati rice, then buffalo meat, then spices, non-basmati rice, cotton raw, oil meals, sugar, castor oil and tea. So friends, remember 2 to 3 of them, that is the marine products, then basmati rice and then cotton, sugar, oil meals and others. So these are few facts regarding the agricultural exports. Then come to next. The contribution of livestock in total agriculture and allied sector has increased from 24.32% to 28.63%. So friends, even the livestock sector is growing and the gross value addition has increased from 24.32 to 28.63%. Then during the last 5 years, the food processing industry sector has been growing at an average annual growth rate of 9.99%, and this 9.99% of growth of FPI is more compared to overall agriculture sector, which is growing at 3.12%, and manufacturing sector, which is growing at 8.25%. So FPI, that is the food processing industry sector, it is growing faster than manufacturing and the agriculture sector. So these are some of the facts and unique trends, we have to remember them. Friends, go through the video 2 to 3 times and try to remember the trends and statistics. And friends, one of the examples for how the questions can be asked is here, that is the micro irrigation fund, and related question is asked here. So what are the allocated money for that and what are the trends, how it has impacted. So all such questions can be asked here. So this is a brief account on economic survey. Then come to the last part. Friends, economy is one great thing which can build the empire. So our defense, our health, education, so all these can be standardized and improved only if we work hard and pay the tax regularly. And it is very insane that we drink, merry-make, loaf our time and we enjoy with our father's wealth. But however, when we hear the news of a soldier dying in the borders, we grow emotional and we put status after status in our WhatsApp. But mind you friends, it is our negligence, it is our laziness which is leading to death of such soldiers. So if we had worked hard, if we had paid tax regularly, if we had built India's defense, instead of deploying a man there, we would have deployed a technology or a robot which would have been suffice. So if our fellow beings are dying at the borders, so that sin is equally shareable for all of us. So think likewise, work hard, pay the tax and make India the #1 defense country. So do it. All the very best. Good luck friends.